Ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome. Can we all rise for the national anthem, please?
Can we bow down our heads for prayer? In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for the opportunity of being alive. We thank you for an occasion like this.
Good morning, distinguished shareholders, proxies, ladies and gentlemen. It is with pleasure and gratitude to the Almighty Allah that I welcome you all to the 29th Annual General Meeting of our company, Star Express Plc, for which notice had been given to members of the company having a right to attend and vote. I now declare the meeting open. We have come together today to review the performance of our company, Star Express Plc, for the period, for the year ended March. Thank you very much. Thank you. For the year ended 31st March 2022. We thank the Almighty God for His continued protection and for the inspiration in directing the affairs of our company. We continue to pray for wisdom for all those at the helm of our affairs in our country and in our country. Amen. The company has under guidelines issued by the Corporate Affairs Commission obtained the approval of the Commission to hold this annual general meeting in line with Section 254 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 on use of proxies for the meeting. The approval received from Corporate Affairs Commission for attendance of the meeting by proxy was subsequently adopted by the Nigeria Exchange Limited and entitled shareholders to attend and vote at this annual general meeting, having appointed as proxies one of the underlisted to attend and vote in their stead. My humble self, Suleiman Barrow, Mr. Awalu Babura, Mr. Moses Ogundeji, Chief Cyril Ugumadu, and Mr. Ganiyo Amao. This annual general meeting is being streamed live on Zoom and YouTube. Shareholders were informed ahead of time and encouraged to log on and observe the meeting. Quorum. We haven't done the introductions. We'll do it, okay. Before we proceed, I now invite the registrars to give a report of the shareholders and proxies for the meeting. The registrars.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, directors, and the esteemed shareholders. My name is Tonto Rob, I represent Coronation Registrars Limited. We are the registrars to Star Express Plc. We have 17 shareholders attending in person and 187 shareholders attending by proxy, with a total of 633,415,165 shareholding, representing 66.36% of the issued and fully paid shares of the company. With this information, we hereby confirm that the quorum has been formed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. I now hereby confirm that shareholders and proxies have been disclosed. There is a proper quorum. Therefore, there is a proper quorum for the meeting as required by our amendment and the law. Now, I would like to introduce the directors. Permit me to do so. My colleagues that you have approved to be on the board. I'll start from the left. I'll start with Mr. Charles Ejikam. He's our Executive Director for Sales and Marketing. Next to him on the left is Mr. Peter Aleto, Non-Executive Director. Next to him is Mrs. Chioma Sideso, Independent Non-Executive Director. On my immediate left is Mr. Awalu Babura, the MD CEO. Right from my extreme right is Mr. Suleiman Koguna, Director. Next to him is Mr. Emeka Ndu, Non-Executive Director. And of course, the person you all know most, our secretary who is with the board, is Mrs. Frances Apamuka. So you're welcome. I would like to introduce as well members of the Audit Committee. Another well-familiar name is Mr. Moses Ogundeji, who is the chairman of the Audit Committee. Thank you, sir. Mr. Chief Cyril Ugumadu. Thank you. Mr. Gani Amo. Thank you. I'd like to introduce our partners and regulators here, and I'll start with the external auditors, Mrs. Omolala Alebiosu, who is a partner. You're welcome, madam. She is also together with our colleague, Mr. Elabo Akere. We have SEC as well, our regulator here, Mr. Adams Zikeli. You're most welcome, sir. Okay, and his Nigerian Exchange Limited is another regulator. It's should be on the screen. Mr. Bonaventure Onwiji. You are most welcome, sir. We have Coronation, of course, our registers, Tonte or Orubu. Welcome. Most welcome, madam. Of course, we have our most esteemed shareholders who are joining us physically. You are most welcome, sirs, and virtually as well. The purpose of this meeting is to transact the business in the notice. I now call on the company secretary to read the notice convening the meeting.
Thank you, sir. Notice of Annual General Meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 29th Annual General Meeting of Red Star Express Plc will be held by proxy at the Southern Sun, Ikoyi, 47 Alfred Rewan Road, Ikoyi, Lagos, on Tuesday, October 11th, 2022 at 11 a.m. to transact the following business. Ordinary business. 1. To lay before members of the company the audited financial statements for the year ended March 31, 2022, together with the report of the directors, auditors, and statutory audit committee thereon. 2. To declare a dividend. 3. To re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation. A. Mr. Suleiman Barao, Non-Executive Director. Mrs. Choma Sideso, Independent Non-Executive Director. 4. To appoint and authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. 5. To disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. 6. To elect members of the audit committee. Special business. To consider and if thought fit pass the following resolution as ordinary resolution. To approve the directors' fees in the sum of 8 million for the financial year ending 31st March 2023 by order of the board. Notes to the notice. Compliance with COVID-19 related directives and guidelines. Further to the guidelines of the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, on conduct of annual general meeting of public companies by proxies, and need to comply with directives and regulations of the Federal Government of Nigeria, Lagos State, and the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, on safety and health protocols to stem the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Shareholders are hereby informed that attendance shall only be by proxy. The convening and conduct of the AGM are thus being done in compliance with these directives and guidelines. Proxy. In view of... Can we take the remaining notes as well? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Secretary. The next item is, the chairman's statement. It's been circulated in the report. Will shareholders want me to go through it, or we should assume that it's been taken as read? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's go straight to the ordinary business of the company. The first item on the agenda is to receive the financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2022, and reports of the directors, internal, external auditors, and the audit committee. With your permission, I would like to take the reports as read as well. I will now call on representative of external auditors, Anne Sanyong, to read the report of the auditors. Okay, shall we take it as read? No, okay, please. Okay.
Good morning, Chairman, Board of Directors, distinguished shareholders. The audit opinion is on page 35 to page 39 of the financial statement. Chairman, distinguished shareholders, with your kind permission, I would like to read the first two paragraphs on page 35 and the last paragraph on page 39. Can I go on, please? Thank you. Page 35. Independent Auditor's Report to the members of Star Express Plc. Report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of Star Express Plc, the company, and its subsidiaries, collectively the group, which comprise the consolidated and separate statement of financial position as at 31 March 2022, and the consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the consolidated and separate statement. Hello, okay. The consolidated and separate statement of changes in equity, and the consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of Star Express Plc and its subsidiaries as at 31 March 2022, and their financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, and in compliance with the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act No. 6, 2011, page 39. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the requirements of the 5th schedule of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we confirm that 1. We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2. In our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the group and the company insofar as it appears from our examination of those books. And 3. The group and the company's consolidated and separate statements of financial position and consolidated and separate statements of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. 4. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, so as to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs and financial performance of the company and its subsidiaries. Signed, Omolola Alebiosu, dated 30th June 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I now call on the chairman of the Audit Committee, Mr. Moses Ayodele Ogundeji, to read the report of the Audit Committee.
Thank you very much, the chairman. Sorry, permit me. We lost some of our members during the year, and we should have stood up to observe a minute silence for them. Some of these people are members, are shareholders of Resta. So maybe I will crave your indulgence so that you can observe that minute silence for them. Sure. May their soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you very much. The board members, the esteemed shareholders, I'm reading a report from page 32. In accordance with the provisions of Section 404(4) of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we have reviewed the group's consolidated and separate financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2022 and report as follows. 1. The accounting and reporting policies of the group are consistent with legal requirements and agreed auditors. Signed by Moses Ayodele Ogundeji. Other members are Chief Cyril Ugumadu, that's our Igwe, Kolawole Ganiyu Amo, Suleiman Lawan Koguna, Chukwumeka Undu, and Sule Umar Bichi. He resigned with effective date of 29 April. So when you look at our attendance, for the time he has been out as member, we get it as absent. and our indefatigable company secretary cover all the proceedings of the meeting during the year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogundeji. Thank you. And I invite members to ask questions or make comments on any part of the accounts. Phones have been provided to enable you to ask questions. Kindly signify by raising your hands and you will be recognized. Your question should be on the financials. It should be brief and straight to the point. Please indicate the page of the financials your questions or comments refer to. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll start with the two gentlemen from our two distinguished directors from the front. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, directors, regulatory authorities here represented, my colleagues, shareholders. It gives me great pleasure to be here to witness and participate this year's annual general meeting. And I also appreciate those other shareholders who has deemed it necessary to ask me to represent them. Star Express.
Your name?
Okay, the name is Evangelist Dr. Anthony Omoni Yomojala. I am the National Coordinator, Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria, the largest shareholder group in Africa. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it gives me a great pleasure to be here. I will thank God for saving our lives. We do appreciate that, like our people have said, a lot of water has passed in the course of the preceding year. But thank God our company succeeded in navigating. And for this, we appreciate especially the directors and management, and of course staff that has been spared and that has given in the needed services to be able to have this positive account. When I look at the reports, most of the indices are positive, and the only way to look is to appreciate the efforts that have been put in. Specifically, the one that have been very negative is the work of the Federal Inland Revenue Services, which has taken a big bite of our money. Actually, I want the lawyers to help us research into the books again, whether financial Federal Inland Revenue Services actually have the right to go and re-audit accounts of some 5 years in arrears, which have been audited, approved, filed over the years. Because this is re-auditing. By this performance, by this money they've taken here, it means all what we had declared in the past are now invalidated. And of course, it has thrown our profits into something else. Assuming we've not been able to make reasonable profits, we'll have been declaring losses. Within a year, for them to come and take up the whole sum of, how much is this? Is it 430, if I'm right here, on page, sorry, I'm on page 72 and 73, where they've taken a whole amount of, actually this is 134.4 million within an accounting year. This is huge. And like I said, I want the lawyers to have a second think about it. Let's research into it. We can question them through the court if we are not convinced of what is being done. Please don't let us remain silent, because this is what is killing some corporate organization in Nigeria. Everybody will sit down, look, and some people are taking undue advantage of us. We have all labored for this. We are commending you for the gross performance, but somehow another person are taking too much out of us. This is not acceptable. We look at the board, the constitution of the board. I also read what the corporate governance consultant said. The board is short of the expected number, and we are recommending that the board should look in-house through the management and close the gaps. We are aware one new executive director has been brought in, but that is not enough of the legal requirements. We probably need 2 more. 3 we said before, but looking at the fact that one is coming in, maybe 2 more. And of course, you have to look into the issue of gender balancing. So in bringing in 3 more, she'll be looking at, say, 2 for the female food, 1 for the men. Am I speaking your mind? Okay. Yes. I'm speaking the mind of those who I represent my very self. And I'm saying, I know I'm saying the right thing. But without going too much into the account, let me appreciate the fact that we are 30 years in existence. This calls for a very good celebration. And for a company that has been listed on stock exchange for the past 15 years and still doing very well, we also need to clap again. Yes, I will also pray again that God will continue to lift us and lift our company. Yes. Page 14 and 15. That is your chairman's report. Yes, page 15. The turnover is very good. That is, the revenue is very good. But because of what I've complained about, because of what financial revenue inland services are taking from us, our dividend was down by 50%. We can't blame the board and management for this, because it's what they have to work on. On page 15, look at the corporate social responsibilities there. The issue of our foundation is mentioned, and I say kudos to what the foundation is doing. I don't mind to recommend that 1 or 2 shareholders should be found reasonable to be injected into the foundation, so that we can be advised of what is actually going on. So I'm saying, I don't know the composition of the foundation, but if you have some shareholders, minority shareholders who are there, they can be briefing us, then we will appreciate what the foundation is doing more. On page 68, looking at the segment reporting there, I know we've done very well in some areas, and some areas needs to be improved on. Of note, the fact that we have some revenue from our services to the outside world, that is outside the country. This is commendable, and I want us to improve on that. Because when you earn some income outside the country, the tendency is that it's going to be in foreign currency. I know the weak end of our currency, we're probably going to earn dollar or pounds that will strengthen our resources. This is being recommended so that we improve in that area. Page is 70. 70. Page 17. Under administrative expenses, there, I noticed that this one grew by about 30%. That's the gross amount. Again, looking at the items one by one, I noticed that specifically about 4 or 5 items that actually increased, that deserve to be noted. Power and water. We know what is happening in the economy. Employee benefits expenses. Yes, for the fact that the effort the management has done to ensure the safety of staff and to be able to carry out their services, we don't mind that expense is there almost double. Insurance, maybe for some of our services, and of course communication and the telephone, we need IT. All I will say in summation is that require more prudent management by avoiding excesses and have effective control on our expenses. Why are you trying to handle? I try to look at our value added. Value added, that's on pages 108. Normally, the application of value added should be even in the sense that we expect the retentions to be greater than the takeaways. But if you look at what happened to us in the past 2 years, it is the contrary. In 2021, the takeaways here, that is the first 3 items, the employees, provider capital, and to government. 2021, it was 77%. And in 2022, the account under review is 80%. It has grown. Whereas what is expected that should be coming down so that the retentions should go up. It is from the retention you have working capital, and of course from the SSCs or the retained profit you can pay back to the shareholders as return on the investment. So I will encourage us to grow our earnings further, and of course this issue of government organization coming to take from where they have not, so we should look into it seriously so that we can guard against unnecessary exposure of our gains so that the shareholders can have good return on their investment. Having said this, sir, I want to stop here and allow us to speak, and I appreciate the efforts of the management, the staff, and riding up on the community developments. I've seen where a fire service vehicle was actually purchased to, to encourage the community so that we will reduce our losses. I say kudos to the management for this, and more to come in future. Thank you very much.
Be a bit here. has taken a part of your time. For very productive comments. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Peter Enyanuku. I welcome our new MD. You are welcome to the board. I think you are insider before. I think that's the best thing. So there won't be any much new thing in your front. I want you to keep it up and continue the good job. Having said that, going to the page 41, I thank the MD again for the dividend giving us 7.5 kobo. I think next year we'll be looking for more than that. In page 41, that's trading and other receivable. Please look into it. This money is too huge, so work on it so that you can recover some money. Going to page 108, 18. That's the foundation donation to Edo State. I really appreciate the good job the foundation did, especially this science laboratory at Edo. My thinking is maybe it's only Lagos and Kano you look on to. I didn't know you look other states too. Please, you keep it up. And don't mind my debtors. I'm from Delta State. Try to look up to Delta State too. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, let's go in that order. I'll come to you, sir.
I would like to say good morning all, board and management of Star Express, all regulatory bodies, my esteemed audit committee members, and my esteemed shareholders. My name is Jibuno Godfrey Uche. I am the National Coordinator, Youth Alliance Shareholder Association, also the National Youth Leader, Shareholder Association of Nigeria. Now, yes, I would like to, first of all, thank the board and management and the workers and staffs for a job well done, because they are the ones that baking this cake that we are eating. They say who much is given, much is expected. Yes, we shareholders, we sit here, but it's also, give kudos to people who are on the saddle. They know what they go through, the prices they pay, unslept nights and other things like that. So first of all, I say thank you all. I also like to talk about page 15. Yes, on the dividends of, like my earlier speaker said, 7.5 kobo. I give them kudos, yes. At this time, when things are very expensive, inflation rates, government policies, harsh operation in Nigeria. Many companies are leaving Nigeria, going to greener pastures, but I thank God, Star, they are still very strong. And also again, the new MD, I would also like to welcome him on the board. Yes, his predecessor, Mr. Shola Obabori, he has done his own and he has taken us far, far into the promised land. And I know my new MD, Mr. Awalu Babura, I know you two, you will do better. Like I said, when I came in, the MD, I gave him, my confidence. I gave him support. And you also, sir, you have my support also. And I believe, as the board has chosen you, you will take us to greener pastures in Jesus' name. Yes. On page 21 to 22, I saw that a lot of board meetings, yes, were well done. Yes, that's good. Because if you don't meet, you don't see yourselves, you can't charge or move this company forward. Audit committee meetings also was well done also. I give you 100% on that also. I also noticed that all standards, that's on page 64 to 67, were well maintained. If we don't maintain standards, we incur fines. And now I believe we don't need fines. Because when fines come, it takes chunk out of our profits. I won't like to go into a tax that my other people have said. We also need to look into that also. Now, notice on page 114, employment. Yes, we employed about 113 staffs. Yes, in this time that, you know, the country, a lot of youths are out of job, causing mayhem and other things outside. And if Red Star can employ 113, then I say kudos to them also. And I say more grease to your elbow. Now, 117 on donation, yes. A lot of things have been said on donation. But sir, please, and I always say a very big please, I know we have dwelled more on schools and education. Please, I would like us if we can go to the less privileges, maybe the next meeting, so that, you know, those people, their prayers will help us. Also, the disabled people also. I know that we don't discriminate, that we employ them, but there are some other people that are, you know, disabled and also on health. If we can do that, then their little prayers, you know, will help us. And last but not least, the board and management, I wish you all kudos. I'm just saying the sky is just the starting point. More grease to your elbows. Thank you, sirs.
Thank you very much.
The chairman, other members of the board, very distinguished fellow shareholders. For the records, my name's Nona Ao. Mr. Chairman, unfortunately, a letter is running away. Because when you were rearranging the high table, the comment you made was that you didn't want to be the one taking the bullet, even if you have the bulletproof under your shirt, notwithstanding. But I think the arrangement that you have also made has not helped your cause. You put on one flank a man who has a black hat or cap, and rather than put a letter on the other flank, wearing a red cap, you decide to put him before. And if you play the game of that as the game of shooting, what you are going to find, you are still the one that is going to receive the bullet. So apologies for putting yourself where you are. But speaking seriously to the account, one of the things that I'm sure will be the concern of the company currently is the fact that our share price that recorded a high of 368 kobo in the last 52 weeks currently sits at 212. And if you do the maths, I'm not talking about people who bought the rights issue, because even if you bought the rights issue and you discount the bonus, it will still be higher than 212. So for a number of investors who join you in the last rights issue, certainly they are making losses already. Please get me right. Having to invest in the stock market is not an all-the-time gain business. But when you begin to find this size of shift, then it also then becomes a concern. So it's in that light that I think that there's some areas that you need to be taking very critical decisions on. But before I come to those, I will be wanting you to speak to what is that you are doing. Fortunately, the external assessor talked about independent directors. I want you to speak to what you are doing in their regards. Because currently where we stand, we just have a 33% score. And anywhere in the world, 33% will be a failure. So I want you to speak to. However, I have a challenge with the presentation of Mrs. Modi, who is already determining for us that we must bring women And I don't, because if we bring 2 more women as independent director, it means that we are going back to Beijing. But I don't think independence is only left for women. And I'm also sure that Madam does not want all women team. But it's important that we look at it. The second major area that I also think that you need to speak to is the gap or the difference between authorized and paid up is relatively small. But I thought that in this account, having done a bonus last year, you'll have also put forward what the position of the board is in terms of managing that gap. Are you hoping that that number of shares will be cancelled, or because a bonus will be difficult at the point in which we are now? But I will also be interested in hearing what you know. But I want to remind the board that pre the rights issue, one major submission that was made is that, once we conclude this rights issue and we are clearer as to what direction we are going, that you'll be bringing in minority representative on the board. 2 years after, that is still a challenge. And I think it's something that you must do before the next AGM. Yes, I know that the processes are also not easy, but you will not be a whole if you have 99.9%. You will not be a whole. Even if the mathematician will tell you, round it up, that still will not make you a whole. And you can't have the number of commitment that we have had, as indicated on page 24 and 32, that you will not bring in minority representative. Please, Mr. Chairman, in your response, don't mention Undu or Aleto as representing minority. I'm helping you so you don't give wrong answers. That's basically what. But going forward, again, because anybody who is making an investment, the first major determinant of the investment that he or she will make is the quality of information. And the quality of information should also include the dates in which directors were appointed. Yes, our practice is to say that it's only retiring directors that you give profile. Fine, in the annual account. But even when you give that profile, the reason that you are directors is because you are appointed. And if you are appointed, you must have an appointment date. So going forward, that must be a major component of the report that you give when it comes to directors seeking for re-election. But on page 110 and 111, which is my major concern, which I want you to speak to, for the second successive year, the subsidiaries have made losses. In 2021, the loss was 140. In 2022, it's 35.4. So what is that we are doing? What is that we are not doing right with the subsidiaries? And the reason I'm raising that is that if you look at page 491, you find that logistics and support services are pretty sitting in red in 2022. So what is that we are likely to do to make sure that those positions don't reoccur? Ordinarily, had I not read the report on tax on page 40 and 73 of 124 approximately, that has been pulled back in 2022, I was also going to begin to wonder, because looking at page 16, 19, 40, 110 and 111, you find that in the fourth quarter of 2022, which is the January to March end, we made a loss of 122. So what that tells me as a layman is that all the profit that we made in the last 3 months of the current year was what we give to the tax office. But that should not be the pattern, because like I said, yes, I know that there's some level of seasonality in our business, but I want to see a consistent position year in, year out. Because if you compare what we made in 2021, ended March, and what we made in 2022, ended March, the performance in the quarter previous year were better than the current year. So it's an indication that we need to look at some of the things that we are doing and give it another face. And in that light, I'll be hoping that going forward, one of the major things that this account should tell me as an investor, and I'm sure that other persons who have invested for the reason of investment will also be asking for it. You are not talking enough about our challenges. You are not. Or probably you think that you are bigger than the challenges. But it's something that's going forward you should also bring on the table. Mr. Chairman, I want to also say that I was tempted to quarrel with the dividend that we are paying. Because even if I factor the 1 for 33 that was given in terms of bonus, what you are giving this year is far from it. But when I then saw that even the subsidiary, as against a 194 million dividend paid to the group in 2021, what came in this year was 25.5. Again, it's an indication that our subsidiaries have challenges. But I look at holistically or global, looking at page 78 and 79 and page 103. What is it that we are doing about our receivables? Because if you find the loss that also came with that size of receivable, relative to the size of our revenue, it also means that we probably need to take a second look at what our credit policies are. And I say this because receivables, anybody who carries our receivables won't pay us any interest. But in this account, we are paying tax for our borrowings. So we shouldn't give free money to some persons, and then from our own money, including what they have not paying us, we are also making contribution to the bank. So there's a need for a major look as to what our receivables are. In closing, Mr. Chairman, I heard my colleague talk about shareholders being on the foundation. But I want to emphasize much more that where shareholders should be on the board as minority shareholders. However, if you want to use the foundation as a basis for getting to know them, just like in the area of football, you have feeder team. If that is the approach you want to, but where the shareholder should be, because the man who has put his money here should also have a say as to why. And that's why some of you are on the board, is because you want to also make sure that you protect your investment. So the minority also needs a voice on that. But for the foundation, I don't think we are reporting the foundation enough. Because my understanding of foundation is that monies come from the group to the foundation, and is the money that comes to that foundation, even if that foundation is going to raise money on its own, given its reputation and its ability to perform in the past. But if money will come or has come from the group, it's important that we are constantly talking about revenue that comes to the foundation, who represents, who are the directors of the foundations, and how much they are spending on a year-to-year basis. Because, yes, I got this account here, but going through it, I am not able to put together how much you spend other than what you give in donation, which itself is a different ballgame from the foundation. So there's also a need for an improved presentation for foundation. The other one that is also a concern for me, because I see this literally every day, is the size of protection for our riders. I don't think the clothing the guards that we are providing currently is sufficient. I don't think so. And the reason that is so for me, I don't want people to have finished their service with us 6 years, 7 years, or less down the line. Their health becomes a major challenge. And so let's again look. Yes, it may cost us a little more, but it's something that we must look at, especially for centers where the traffic situation and accident rates are also higher, Lagos and Abuja in particular. Again, I want to thank you. Congratulate you for the milestone of 30 years. And I say this because not too many companies that started at the time in which Resta started are still surviving. Much more importantly, not very many companies that came, even after you got listed on the market, are still surviving. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir and gentlemen, for all the very productive comments. Now, return the mic to him, please. I just wanted to, I needed clarity on the issue of the riders. You're talking about their health or protection or safety, because there are two different issues. Is your concern their health or their safety?
Protection and protective guards usually will help to manage the health condition going forward. So that's basically my concern. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sir, you can see why I said that I needed people around me. But the MD will take more of this bullet because I'll talk on the general issues, and then the MD will talk on the specific issues. The comment on the foundation has been recurring, is well noted. I would not want to respond on the comment, but it's well noted. Even we at the board, I assure you, will look at the foundation and the issues that have been raised, and you should see some improvement on in the context of the points that you've made regarding more disclosure and issues of location and representation that suggestions have been made. The comment on tax is all well noted, but I think the law provides, we debated this, we were guided by our auditors, we debated this internally. I was as concerned as yourselves in my capacity as somebody who is representing you on the board, but also as an investor as well. When I see the taxman coming to take money like that, I get concerned. But I think the law, provides for that. We will continue to engage, to be a bit more proactive with the tax authorities. But it's well noted. We would like to take our regulators legally, but will improve on the engagement. It was, we guarantee you that it was painful for all of us. It was painful for us, but we were duly guided by our external auditors. The comment on admin expenses is well noted. I'm sure the MD will comment more on that. And on the, I took a lot of value from the comment on the value added statement. I'm not competent to speak on that, but I will look at the issue. But if you look at even the comment that you made on value-added statement, it was because of the tax that the percentage increased. If you look at the impact of tax was 9%. So if you discount it to the level where it should be, or the previous year's level, you will not see the kind of rise that you've seen. The comment on receivables is noted. We are concerned as a board. Two things. I mean, when a shareholder talked about our challenges, that we are not disclosing them as much. Our challenges, basically, receivables and expenses. And I guarantee you that at the board, we've been working in the last 2 years to make sure that we put a firm handle on collecting our monies that are out there. because, like has been said, why go and borrow when you can collect your own money? The board is giving you assurances that we'll look at this. The comment from you means that you are still not satisfied with what we have done, but I want to assure shareholders that expenses and receivables are our main focus as a board, and we will focus on them. The comment on staff is well taken. In spite of COVID, we've tried to grow our business. I mean, so the fact that we are recruiting means that we are getting back to normalcy. I mean, we are growing. That's why we're employing, people. Yes. The comment on share price is well taken. I've been taught that there are issues of circle of influence and circle of concern. What's happening to our share price is not peculiar to us as a company. It's the market. You know what is happening to the macroeconomic environment, where there is huge flight of portfolio flows that have come in for reasons that are outside our control. We will want the portfolio flows to be here, but when those flows find their own environments as attractive destinations, they go back to their destinations, and that's what has happened to the market. So it's not peculiar to us, but it's well noted. We are also as well concerned as you are on the share price, but we know that we'll go back to where we are coming from. But for me, the key issue is more the underlying value of the company rather than how the market reflects it. And I can assure directors and shareholders that our underlying values are strong. The strategies that we are putting in place since we have a new leadership will take us on a trajectory that is positive and way up, and that should be reflected on the share price going forward, subject to what happens in the macroeconomic environment. I thought we thrashed the issue of the difference between authorized and paid-up capital. What we decided, I think, is that there is no need keeping, those shares unissued, and I think we cancelled them, or we gave them out as I can't remember. We cancelled them, right? And so maybe it's a disclosure issue. Maybe we haven't disclosed. We'll do that. The comment on minority shareholders' appointment to the foundation and board is noted as well. It's something that we'll look at. The appointment date for directors, I'm sure the secretary has noted it. For those seeking for the election, I think it's well noted. Subsidiary losses, the MD will comment on that, but I think the trajectory for subsidiary profit and numbers is up now. I mean, particularly our foreign locations. The MD will comment more on that. Your comments are on the performance. If you notice, the previous year's numbers, I'm talking about the profits now and the way they came up, and last year's, that is the year, and the year we were reporting has been severely distorted by COVID, by the impact of COVID. Having been on the board for 3 years, I can confirm that, our incomes and our businesses are stable. We don't get the kind of bumps that are reflected now in the account. So the only reason why you had those bumps is because of the impact of COVID. And so we are assuring you that you won't see the kind of bumps that we've seen in prior year that you referred to. I have spoken about our challenges. I've spoken about receivables and minority shareholders. Now, the MD will comment on most of the other issues. I talked on the bigger picture issues, including the protection for riders. So, shareholders who have commented and all shareholders, thank you very much for your comments. Thank you. Hand over to the MD.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, I greet you once more. Concerning the issues raised, very productive comments by Evangelist Mr. Omoni Angela. Sir, we have noticed your concern about the tax issue that you have raised, but I'm happy to say you raised the issue and you as well understood what really happened. Because it's just like you gave the issue and you gave the answers as well. So when you were talking and you were preparing the answers, inside me I was happy. Because I said Mr. Omoni has raised the issue and he really understood what happened. Now we understood what happened last year in the Nigerian economy. The economy was not doing too well, and the federal government resolved to aggressive tax collections. Our books were opened for 5 years. You could imagine each and every subsidiary of Resta and their books was audited. They call it back duty. That is going back five years. And Resta Express is a very good corporate citizen. We don't have anything to hide, and our books are always opened. We went through that. It's something that we've been doing intermittently year after year. But what we saw last year, it was something else. We have compared notes in the industry. Our colleagues were elsewhere. And the story everywhere is the same. The aggression from the tax authorities is something that has to be handled and handled with care and expertise. And if you ask me, Resta Express, myself and my team, we have done very well to ensure that the kind of result that we have posted here is what we see. So the issue of tax is something that, like I said, beyond us. We want to come out clean because we don't have anything to hide. We are a PLC. And some people have even burned their fingers. There are some companies, as at now, they could not publish their accounts. Some were even suspended by the Nigerian Stock Exchange as a result of these tax issues. Resta Express went through this storm, and we came out with something to show to our shareholders that, yes, we went through this thing, we did our best, and we came out with this result. So thank you very much, sir, for the observation. Thank you, sir, for the observation, and I want to assure you that going forward, we will do whatever it takes to make sure that our shareholders are a priority to whatever we do. The Resta Foundation, the chairman has spoken about it, and I think the management, the board, is going to take a second look at it, and I'm sure maybe next year some new information may come out as from the Resta Foundation issues. Mr. Peter Inyang, sir? Inyano. Okay. Okay. Inyanuko. Okay. I listen to you, sir, and your prayers. I say amen to all your prayers. Thank you very much for acknowledging us and the little work that we have done so far. Mr. Chinelu Uche. Okay, Chibuno Uche. Chibuno. Okay, Jibuno. Okay, Jibuno. Okay, Jibuno Uche. Thank you very much, sir. Also, we have heard you. We have said amen to your prayers, and we have noticed all the positive contributions you have put. Now, coming to the professor in the house, Mr. Nanao. Mr. Nana has been a friend of Resta for years, and believe you me, listening to him, you know that this gentleman really understands the accounts. And he's somebody that we always are looking to see that he's around, because he takes time to x-ray the accounts. Areas that you think you will never see, this man will see it. We're happy, sir, because whatever you are bringing is so positive. The issues you raise, some of them are macro, which the board is looking at. The issue of share pricing, what my chairman has answered. The issue of independent directors, the issue of authorized and issued shares, my chairman has answered. Minority representative on the board, the chairman will also has attend to that. You also point our attention to the appointment date of directors seeking re-election. It might be an omission, but going forward is something that should be in the accounts. Then the main issue is the negative PAT, profit after tax positions on some of our subsidiaries, and namely, I think, Resta Support Service and Resta Logistics. As explained earlier, sir, this is as a result of things beyond us, the tax aggression. I have to open the accounts of Red Star Logistics for the last 5 years, Red Star Support for the last 5 years. And this is the result. And going forward, we will beat our chest to say that we have done the right thing, and we are very hopeful and positive that going forward the figures will be positive. This is the kind of assurance that I want to put to the board. But as per what happened in the last year, I can say it's something that is beyond us, honestly, because when you are dealing with federal government, federal government has the last say in anything. They are the largest stakeholder in any business. And we don't want to toy with our shareholders and the interests of other stakeholders. So we comply and we go through the tests and we come out with whatever and we explain it to all the stakeholders. I noticed also your observation on the last quarter of the financial year 2022. Yes, your observation is right. But you know, the impact of whatever happened will now be reported on the last quarter. That is vis-a-vis the activities of these tax computations my auditors are here. Everything, because the auditor will not say this thing happened in January, let me go and open first quarter. As far as the accounts are concerned, it belongs to a particular financial year. And all the adjustments will be in the final quarter. But I think going forward is one area that we'll pay attention to make sure that the spacing in the reporting is as expected. You also said that we don't report challenges in the books. Well, I don't know, it's something that we will have to liaise with our external auditors because they have a reporting format which they said is for external use. I don't know, maybe in the chairman's statements or other areas, okay, maybe those are the areas where the challenges can come. I also noticed your observation on the receivables, sir. Well, when looking at the receivables, you also have to factor the industry where we are operating. For a company that did a turnover of almost 13 billion, 12.66 last year, which means every month we are doing almost 1.2 billion revenue. The receivables we have here represent 2 months and some fractions of months. It's not something I'm dependent. It's not good. We are supposed to collect as we sell. But like I said, we are not operating alone in the industry, and in the industry it's not like selling essential commodities that you cannot do without, like salt or sugar. We are competing with the likes of our competitors. I don't want to mention their names, because my job is to make sure they are not in the industry. So, sir, it's an area we are doing much, and I think included in the figures also, there are provisional figures there, which as a result of the activities of the external auditors. The Red Star Foundation, my chairman has answered about it. The protection of the riders is a wonderful observation, and is something that we'll go back and look at it in detail. We thought in our little way we are doing things. We are providing gadgets, the helmets, and other things. We provided comprehensive insurance to all our riders. We provided HMO in case anybody is ill. But your observation is something that we will have to go back and say and ask ourselves internally. Are we doing the right thing? Are there areas where we can improve? And there are so many things we have done which are not here, which is going to start taking effect this year. So I don't know if I've missed anything, sir, but I want to pass the mic to my chairman, unless if there is any question for me. Thank you very much, Shareholder.
Thank you very much, MD. Thank you very much, shareholders, for the wonderful questions. We've noted all the comments, and like the MD had said, we'll work on them, and hopefully next year you will observe, changes, positive changes. So I think we should make progress now. Thank you very much again. You all have received electronic devices with which to vote. The registrars will explain the voting process and procedure for voting. And I'll invite the registrars to come and explain the voting process. Madam.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Here's a brief description of the voting process. Having gotten requisite approvals to hold a meeting by proxy, we have captured a total of 187 shareholders' voting details received by proxy and holding 434,712,984 units, representing 45.5% of the issued share capital. Hence, the voting results of the proxies will be displayed in addition to the votes cast here today. For shareholders that have been given a voting device, please note that it has been configured to represent your shareholding in Red Star Plc. After the resolutions have been read out, the shareholders are to cast their votes in line with their voting decisions. Your respective voting devices have the button 1A, which is a yes vote, 2B is a no vote, and 3C is an abstain vote. Once the voting has commenced, please press the reference button in accordance with your decision or choice. And note that each shareholder can change their votes during the voting process, but once the voting period has ended, the last button you pressed will be recorded as your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Is it clear to all? I'm sure this is not new to us. It's all clear. Okay, thank you very much. I now propose that the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2022 and the report of the directors and the audit committee now laid before you at this meeting be received. Will someone please second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is Lawal Wahab Olatunji. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much. I now call on the registrars to conduct the poll and announce the results. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting will last for 20 seconds. You may key into your devices. Please press your device. Please press your device. Okay, we are voting for the audited financial statements. So you can press your device. I will read it again. If you're pressing 1A, that's a yes vote. 2, that's no. And then 3, it's abstain. So let us commence now. You can press your device. The voting section will last for 20 seconds. The voting has commenced now. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds. 2 seconds. The voting has ended. Please let's be patient while they collate and display the votes. We have no shareholder abstaining. We have no shareholder against. We have 204 shareholders holding 633,415,165 units, representing 100%, voting in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you to our registrars and to our shareholders. In view of the results declared by the registrars, I now hereby declare the motion unanimously carried. Thank you very much. The second item on the agenda is declaration of our dividend. The Board of Directors has recommended a dividend of 7.5 kobo per every 50 kobo ordinary share. I wish to call on any member to propose that a dividend of 7.5 kobo per share be declared payable to shareholders whose names appear on the register of members as at close of business on 13th September 2022, subject to the reduction of withholding tax. Thank you. Will someone please second the motion? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Peter Enyanuku. I so do.
Thank you very much, sir. I now call on the registrars to conduct the poll and announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting period will last for 20 seconds. The voting has commenced now. Please press your keypads. Ten seconds left. 5 seconds left. 2 seconds left. The voting has ended. Thank you. We ask that you remain patient while we collate and display the votes. We have no shareholder voting against, no shareholder abstaining. We have 204 shareholders holding 633,415,165 units, representing 100%. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam. Thank you to the shareholders. In view of the results declared by the registrars, I hereby declare the motion unanimously carried. Thank you very much. The third item on the agenda is the re-election of directors, further to Section 273 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. The Secretary will read out the names of the directors being presented for re-election. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, since I'm up for the election myself, I will dutifully hand over the microphone to Mr. Suleiman Koguna to handle the proceeding of the director's re-election.
Thank you so much, sir, for being an acting INEC chairman at this moment in time. The directors for re-election shall be elected by separate resolution. I now propose that our wonderful chairman, Mr. Suleiman Barrow. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the reminder. I'll be hereby re-elected as director of the company. Will someone please second the motion?
Thank you, my acting chairman, for giving me that opportunity.
You're welcome.
My name is Jibuno Uche. I thereby second that motion.
Thank you, sir. The seconder is identified and noted by the secretary. Thank you. I now call on the registrars to conduct the poll and announce the results.
Thank you, sir. The voting period will last for 20 seconds. Please press your keypad in accordance with your choice. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. 2 seconds. The voting has ended. We have no shareholder abstaining. We have no shareholder against the resolution. We have 204 shareholders holding 633,415,165 units, representing 100%, who has voted in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you sincerely for being, I wanted to say obedient, but I'm trying to be very careful. I know someone is watching. So thank you so much. Thank you, registrars. In view of the result declared by the registrars, I hereby declare the motion unanimously carried. Okay. Secondly, I now propose that our chair lady, am I campaigning for her again? Our wonderful chair lady, Mrs. Choma Sedeso, be hereby re-elected as director of the company. Will someone please second the motion?
Thank you once again. The name is Lawal Wahab Olatunji. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you, sir. Okay, the seconder is thank you. The seconder is identified and noted by the secretary. I now call on the registrars to conduct the poll and announce the result.
Thank you, sir. The voting period will last for 20 seconds. Please press your keypads. We have 10 seconds left. 5 seconds. 2 seconds. The voting has ended. We have no shareholder abstaining. We have no shareholder against. We have 204 shareholders holding 633,415,165 units, representing 100% who has voted in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, registrars. In view of the result declared by the registrars, I hereby declare the motion unanimously carried. Congratulations. Okay. I now hand back.
Now, at this point, I have to, on behalf of myself and Director Sideso, thank you very much for the shareholders, for the confidence in us. We did not take your votes lightly. We commit, along with the board members, that would do everything within our own powers to move the company forward, to meet the vision and the mission of the company and your own aspirations. Thank you very much. Thank you. We shall now proceed to the... We will do that. We now proceed to the next item on the agenda, which is to authorize the directors to appoint and fix the remuneration of the auditors. We use this opportunity to again thank the firm of Ernst and Young, having served the company as external auditors for the statutory period of 10 years. We look forward to working with the firm in other capacities. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. By virtue of Section 357 of CAMA, Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, which requires every company to appoint external auditors at every annual general meeting, can someone propose that the directors be authorized to appoint the external auditors? Will someone second the motion, please? Yes, Evangelist.
Thank you once again. The name is Evangelist Dr. Antonio Mojola. I do support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I now call on the registrars to conduct the poll and announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting period will last for 20 seconds. Please press your keypads. We have 10 seconds left. 5 seconds left. 2 seconds. The voting has now ended. Please let's remain patient while we display the result. We have no shareholder abstaining. We have no shareholder against the resolution. We have 204 shareholders holding 633,415,165 units representing 100% who has voted in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you to our shareholders. In view of the results declared by the registrars, I hereby declare the motion unanimously carried. Still on the same item, by virtue of sections 401 and 408 cap 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the remuneration of the external auditors should be fixed by the company at a general meeting. Can someone please propose that the directors be authorized to fix the remuneration of the external auditors in respect of the period ending at the conclusion of the next annual general meeting? Would someone please? Yes, go ahead.
What you have on the agenda is indicating appoint and authorize. So we've taken it. Because the people who voted via proxy, if you also look at the proxy page, you also combined as one. So if you are doing otherwise, I don't know what, you know.
If that is, we wanted to, segment them, but
no, that is what you asked for, and that's what you have been given. So don't ask for another thing.
Okay, thank you very much. We are guided. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. So I now go straight to the fifth item on the agenda, which is to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. The remuneration of the company's managers can be found in note 29 on page 90 of the annual report. Okay, thank you very much. I go to the next item on the agenda. The sixth item on the agenda is to elect members of the Audit Committee pursuant to Section 404 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. The company has received nominations, and I will call on the company secretary to read the names of the nominees so received. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We received 4 nominations with respect to shareholders' representatives on the Audit Committee. We received from Mr. Moses Ogunjeji, Chief Cyril Ogumadu, Mr. Ganiu Amao, and Mr. Uche Jibono. However, earlier today, Mr. Jibono also sent in his letter of withdrawal. So we have just 3 shareholders' representatives, Mr. Moses Ogundeji, Chief Cyril Ogumadu, and Mr. Ganiu Amao. So there may be no need for an election since we have just 3 of them.
Okay. So let me congratulate Mr. Ogundeji, Mr. Ogumadu, Cyril Ogumadu, and Mr. Amao for the confidence we all have on you. Please, thank you, congrats. Thank you very much. They will be joined, as usual, by 2 non-executive directors. Thank you very much, shareholders. The next item is item 7. The 7th item on the agenda is to approve the directors' fees. Will someone please propose that the directors' fees be fixed at 8 million naira for the year ended 31st March 2023? I now call on the registrars to conduct the poll and announce the results. Okay, sorry about that. I want someone to second the motion. Wow, who am I going to? Okay, Mr. Jubono, sorry, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Jibuno Godfrey Uche. I hereby support that motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now call on the registrars to conduct the poll and announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The voting period will last for 20 seconds. Please press your keypads. Press your voting devices. 10 seconds left. 5 seconds. 2 seconds. The voting has ended. We have no shareholder abstaining. We have no shareholder against. We have 204 shareholders holding 633,415,165 units, representing 100%, who have voted in favor of the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. Madam Registrar, thank you very much, shareholders. In view of the results declared by the registrars, I hereby declare the motion unanimously carried. Ladies and gentlemen, all items of business on the notice with which this meeting is competent to transact have now been dealt with. On behalf of my fellow directors, particularly myself and Mrs. Sideso, I thank you all for coming, and now declare this annual general meeting of Star Express Plc closed. We thank you all for coming, for your attendance and participation. May we now all rise for closing prayer and the national item. Closing prayer. Suleiman, close the prayer.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. We thank Almighty Allah for His blessing and His grace upon us to hold this meeting, and we thank Him for His grace upon us to end this meeting peacefully. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa assalamu ala al-mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.